right, family. Thank you and welcome back. So today's mortgage tip, how to talk to an underwriter. I'm going to provide you guys with some steps that you should follow. And I want to talk a little bit about mindset and what an underwriter is, etc. So let's get this show on the road. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is they contact an underwriter pissed off or they're mad about conditions. They go into a conversation with an adversarial mindset. They want to complain, they want to talk down or bad to an underwriter. They want to know what in the world was the underwriter thinking when they recalculated the income? Why are they over conditioning my file? The list goes on and on and on. I want you to walk a mile in an underwriter's shoes. Okay, imagine you are getting a brand new loan to underwrite. You know nothing about the file or the borrower, and your job is 100% risk management. You must scrutinize this file to ensure that you sign off on this loan and the secondary markets will purchase it. If you don't do a good job, and a lot of loans with your name on it aren't being purchased from the lender on the secondary market, then guess what? Your name gets red flagged. You could literally lose your job. You could lose everything. Always try to look at another person's point of view. Always walk a mile in their shoes. Okay. Try to see every angle instead of just your angle. This will open your field of view to endless possibilities. Now, if you don't do this now, okay, I suggest you guys get a piece of paper and a pen and write these steps down. The very first thing that I suggest you do on your next loan is start typing cover letters explaining your loan. You need to let the underwriter know how you calculated your borrower's income, what account or accounts you are using for closing costs or down payment. What accounts or accounts are you using only for reserves if needed on your file? What are you doing to address the derogatory credit that you found on the credit report if it's applicable? However you structured your loan, you should type it up into a letter and always submit it with your initial submission package. By providing a cover letter, you are providing a clear path of how you are representing your borrower to the underwriter. It leaves no room for an underwriter's imagination to run wild when breaking down your income or looking at your file. Okay. It also helps the underwriter. This is the person that's going to approve or deny your loan. The more you can provide in the letter, the better. They will follow your guide and be grateful that you went the extra mile. Now, the first thing, once my file's out of underwriting, I may have my own opinions of being over conditioned or what did they do to my income. But the first thing that I do is I'm going to do research on my conditions. Okay. I'm going to review every condition and see what's on the list. I'm then going to look at what I provided. And then I'm going to look and see, okay, well, where was the disconnect? Okay. I'm also going to write down what questions I have for each condition. If I'm confused on something, I'm going to do my research and I'm going to go look up the guidelines, which are easily accessible online, or I'm going to assess the underwriter's AUS findings. Okay, this is important. Don't look at the AUS findings that you had before you went to underwriting. Every time an underwriter touches the file, they run AUS. So I want to go look at those. I'm then also going to look at my file, see what changed. Did my DTI change? Did my assets change? Right? I want to look at these things to see what the underwriter did. It literally saves me time so I can figure out what changes happened and how I need to address these changes. Okay. Now, the very second thing that I suggest you guys do, get yourself together, calm down. This is not a personal attack on you. Remember, look at it through the underwriter's vision. If you didn't provide a letter, they're now scrutinizing everything on your loan. Okay, so by giving them that letter, it tightens that window up because they're now seeing your perspective and they can help underwrite the file better. Okay. So even if the underwriter is doing their job and going above and beyond with more conditions, even if they aren't doing their job, it doesn't matter. They are people just like you. Okay. You need to be calm and you need to understand everyone makes mistakes. It doesn't matter. Okay. Just get yourself together. Your opinions are, this is the time right now when you're doing your research, throw your opinions out there, cuss the underwriter, whatever you want to do, But when it's time to make your put your game plan into action and make that call, you want to make sure you're nice and calm. Okay. Now this step is extremely important. Okay, because now we've done our research, we've looked up every condition. It's now time. We've calmed ourselves down. Now it's time to make the call. Okay. Now, once you make the call and they answer, always start with how is your day going? Even if you're leaving a voicemail, start with I hope your day is going well. You have no idea how many underwriters are confused by this approach. Okay. You'd be probably the first person that's asked them actually how they are doing and not just yelled at them. Okay. It's a great start to the call or to a voicemail or to an email. Great start. Um, what you are doing is you're addressing them as a human being and not an underwriter that made a mistake or that you're mad at. You're not chewing their head off because they are over conditioning your file. Okay. You're simply having an organic conversation and you're not even talking about what you're calling for. Literally, you're just finding out how they're doing. Okay. Now, while you're having your small talk and you're asking them how they're doing, assess how they're answering you, right? Assess their mood. If they're in a bad mood, try to make a joke or say something that helps them get in a better mood, right? An example would be like, man, sounds like you're having a tough week. So am I. Listen, got a couple more days, man. We almost made it, right? Bring energy where there is none. Okay. If they have great energy, compliment them on their energy. Keep that energy high during the call. I'll ask them, how their weekend was or if they have plans for the upcoming weekend. It's the small talk. It lets them know that I'm not a threat. I'm not here to chew their head off. I'm literally here to work with a trusted partner to get this loan done. Okay. Now, after the small talk, find us a place where you're going to segue into providing the full loan number and the borrower's full name. Now, remember, got to keep the energy high. Okay. No matter what happens during the call, what you hear, keep your energy high. This is extremely important. Since you did the research on every condition, what you should always do is ask questions. Never make statements. Okay, let me give you an example. I saw my income was cut by $324.50. I was hoping you would walk me through how you calculated the income. This approach is not aggressive, and your underwriter will provide you with the information you're requesting. Depending on their answers, you may have follow up questions, and that's okay. Now, if your underwriter is getting overwhelmed, or if they feel as if you are, threatening them or questioning them, it's a simple objection to overcome. Simply let them know I'm only asking these additional questions so that I have more information. The more information I have, I can go to my borrower and I can explain exactly what the condition is about. Okay, this approach never fails and you will always get the answers that you're looking for. Now, if I receive information that I don't think is correct, I don't argue with them and I don't say, well, let's look up the guideline together. You're not reading it correct. I simply ask them to send me an email with the guideline so I can save it, just in case if this scenario pops back up. Okay. I wait until they say yes, which in my ears means that's commitment and that, yes, they're going to do that. Now, if I don't receive that email, I don't in an hour email them back. I wait till the next day and then I simply send a follow up email. Hey, depending on my conversation, hey, I hope your day is going better today, or I hope your day is well. I know that you're also busy. If you don't mind, send me that email that we discussed over the phone, and then I'll outline the condition, letting them know again what we discussed and the guideline that I'm looking for. Okay. Now, when you're on the phone with the underwriter, you've already started off with a great approach. You had an organic conversation, you're keeping the energy high. They're sensing that you're not a threat. And so now it's time to guess what? Ask them how to satisfy the conditions. A lot of people just get the condition, they talk to the underwriter. The underwriter doesn't actually tell you how to satisfy it. They tell you how they looked at it. Why wouldn't you go to the source? Don't use your own imagination or opinion on how to satisfy it. Always go to the source. They are the ones that are going to sign off on your condition. Why not ask their opinion? Why not make your job easier? Get a clear path from the person who's going to sign off on it. So that way you know exactly how to take care of it. Very simple. Okay. Now, this approach, I'm telling you, it has never failed. You will find underwriters go above and beyond for your files because you treated them with kindness and gratefulness. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Take these steps. I'm telling you. Um, this also gives you full control of the situation. If you start with an upbeat, friendly approach, they want to give back by taking the time to explain these things. They want to give back by sending you the email, right? Showing you the guideline of how they're reading it and what the guideline is. Okay. And especially when you explain why you're asking them to send these guidelines, it's extremely important that you give them the explanation. You don't want to show them that you are questioning what they're doing. You simply want to use it for a tool for the next time the scenario pops up. You can now be the expert to help your loan clients. Remember what you're doing. Okay. At the end of the day, your client, your realtor, and you are simply trying to win. The underwriter is the gatekeeper for you to close your loan quicker. You want it to be smooth. You want it to go easy and painless. Making the decision maker an adversary rather than someone on your team will never get great things accomplished. Use these tips and watch how things go. Even if you've pissed off your underwriter, call them back immediately and apologize. Then start with this approach and strategy. You will see the whole situation turn itself around. Even if the underwriter holds a grudge, it doesn't matter. Be the bigger person. Stick to the strategy. My friends, to win the war, you must first win the battle. Winning the war in this case is funding your loan. The battle is having your underwriter work with you and not against you. Well, my friends, I hope these tips find you well, and always stay humble.